The face of homelessness is changing. New research shows the number of people 65 and older experiencing homelessness will triple by 2030.
And Keitha Nelson is on your side tonight, digging deeper into what experts call the crisis of age.
Homelessness is a scary situation for anyone to even imagine. This age group, 55 plus baby boomers, they have additional concerns. Some have health or mobility problems emergency shelters are not equipped to handle. And they occupy two of the riskiest categories for heat-related illness, being older and unhoused. But an expert in the field tells me there is hope and this problem can be solved. We took our cameras inside of Jim Paris's car. For 2.5 years, he called this space home.
You know, I'm glad I have the car, but every time I get in it, it brings me back there. And it's not good.
From the outside looking in, homelessness for many of us seems like a them problem, like it could never happen to us.
I used to see homeless people and I would think, good God, you know, I could never be there, but you know, it wouldn't take much to make it happen. And then it happened.
Paris was a part of a group quickly becoming the largest portion of our nation's homeless population. He's a baby boomer.
The largest group remains those who are 18 to 45, but the fastest growing percentage population is 55 and older.
And Dawn Gilman says it's moving into 65 and older. She runs Changing Homelessness. A recent survey of the homeless population in Duval, Nassau, and Clay counties shows the number of people 55 and older increased by 6% in just 6 months.
I went from owning my own company for 7 years. I worked on access control.
Life, he says, led to other jobs, not making quite enough to get by.
I didn't have enough money to put a down payment on an apartment or anything, and I resorted to living on the streets. I would use the restroom facilities at the park, which of course didn't have any showers, but I was able to clean up, wash up in the sinks, and use the restroom facilities.
Confined physically and mentally, health problems crept in, along with depression.
You know, the worst case scenario, of course, is suicide. And anytime any slight thought of that would creep into my head, all I had to do was think of my daughter. I could never do that to her.
Reflecting on a different time in his life.
I mentioned to you that I had my own company for 7 years. And the reason I did that was to be able to spend more time with my daughter.
We all need something or someone to help us out. For Jim Paris, it was his daughter and Changing Homelessness. The agency helped him get off the streets.
This is a solvable problem.
Gilman is working with the new administration at City Hall to prioritize funding to address the issue.
We're looking at different ways that we could really focus resources to be able to quickly identify the folks that are in a housing crisis or are literally homeless, who are 55 and older, and then where's the best place for them to go so they have a home.
Unlocking a solution will take time, attention, resources, and hope.
There's always a worst case scenario, but there's also always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Paris moved into his own apartment about 6 months ago with the help of Changing Homelessness. They partner with about 40 agencies here on the First Coast that help the homeless population. We have some helpful resources listed right now in this story on firstcoastnews.com and of course the First Coast News app. In the Information Center, I'm Keitha Nelson, First Coast News on your side.